get a part-time job, and hold that part-time job and think about further education, because a high school diploma is not going to give you a whole lot right now. There's nothing sexy about life. If you're really smart, don't go into the trades. If you're really smart, do something smart people do. Be a lawyer or a doctor. I don't recommend putting yourself out there. I think it's there. It's there forever, whatever you do. But I also know if you're a young person and you're not connected, if you're not on the internet and you don't have social media and that, you're left behind. You're me.
My question is this. Let's say you are finishing high school. Now we finish high school at 17. Where would John start from?
First, I think we would have thought about before then, because most high schools, they're like in your face in September saying, what are you going to do in June when you're 17, you're graduating and all that. So it's a little bit provocative. I would imagine there's kids that have gone, I'll think about that in June. Or I'll think about it last day of June. I'm not even going to think about it until September because I'm going to enjoy the summer. I've just been going to school my whole life. I don't know, so again, I like the gap thing. I like taking a break. I really do. And stepping back and assessing. And if you can do it, it's discipline. I'm not saying I'm really great at it, but I've learned how to do it. I really learned how to do this. And it helps you, and you breathe and you think. A lot of people, they just don't do either of those things. They just make decisions, and we make snap decisions sometimes. Other people, it takes forever to make decisions. But coming out of high school, I would say take a little bit of time, think about it, get a part-time job, and hold that part-time job and think about further education, because a high school diploma is not going to give you a whole lot right now. You know what you'll get, and what you'll get might lead to other things, but there's no guarantee. However, if you continue your education, along the way, you'll kind of find, I'm not going to take those courses next year. Next year, I'm going to take some of these courses. And all these courses together mean a lot, because on paper, you're educated. And, people go to university and college to learn how to make decisions, right? You just learn how to take information and what to do with it, right? So I would say further education, because that's a no-brainer. And if you have anybody listening that's over 65, university, I don't think so. University's free.
Yes.
For some universities provide elders
for free.
For free education. Are you kidding me? Wow. Absolutely. So I'm looking into that right now. Totally.
Really? What would you take?
I think about how I could have worked with kids instead. Just kidding. I don't know. I think I'm interested in maybe a cooking course now or something like that. I don't know.
But would you take OSAP though? Like if you were a younger?
Absolutely. And so you're saying like take a loan?
Would you?
Absolutely. But you got to be mindful. This is probably day one of a lot of kids can't, parents that have money, right? So you got to borrow money. Absolutely. If you're into this, if you're into it, but mindful that you got to pay it back. It's not for free. Nothing is for free. It's basic physics. Basic physics is you get nothing. You don't get anything for nothing, right? You just don't. So you can't expect to get money and or anything for free. It's just not the way the world works. If it was, we'd all be just sitting back, lapping it up.
So you would take OSAP, you would take a class knowing that this is where I want to go, but you play with your courses, what you're taking, to make sure once you're done, you have a good show of what you went to school for. But what is something that you would say right now that you would go in school for?
I would say, even though I did it, and I'm sore. I'm really sore from doing it all those years. Trust me, I'm held together with paper clips and Advil. But I would say the trades.
Again.
Absolutely, the trades, because there's so much opportunity. You're an electrician, plumber. I've met 2 female plumbers in the last couple of years, before I retired, and they're doing the work, and it's not easy work. They're doing the work, and they're making more money than I ever made doing that work. Wow. And they're young people that are licensed plumbers, right? So you go and you start say you're a plumber, an electrician, drywall, tapered, heating, ducting, all that. You get on a crew, you're making 15, 16, whatever dollars an hour, working your butt off, getting sores along the way, everything's sore, but you're getting knowledge. And then from there, you found another guy that does the same work. He's so much nicer, and I'll make more money. I'm going to go there. You know what I mean? It's like it's a building block. It's one thing after another. So I would say, to answer your original question, there's nothing sexy about life. If you're really smart, don't go into the trades. If you're really smart, do something smart people do. Be a lawyer or a doctor. You know, but be prepared for another, 16 years of school and some heartache and money and paying back money. You think doctors don't have to pay back that money? It's serious business. And those guys, they didn't just like at 17 years old go, I'm going to be a doctor. Maybe some of them did. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. But I don't think anybody who comes out of high school going, this is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, maybe a musician could say that. Yeah. Or somebody that's, has got it built right into them. Or parents that said, this is what you're going to do. Yeah. So hard to be independent, hard to think independently if you have parents going, no, you're going to be a doctor. No, well, if you're not going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer. That's it. Oh, I want to be a musician. Good luck with that argument.
Yeah, because I've seen in high school, we had friends who really wanted to go into school as a doctor because they're parents, right? And you could see how miserable they were. Like they were scared to even get 80%. I'm like, you're still fine. It's 80%, But for them, they know like they have to make it because of their parents. As a father, would you want your child to be like in certain?
I don't have kids, so it's easy to say what I would do. Okay. So I'd just be guessing. But you know what? Kids need a lot of support. But kids are very, very receptive. They mimic. They will love the same sports teams that their dad does. That's life. That's what it is. It's all about. But at some point, they become more independent, and it's just nice to remember that as a parent that those kids. Need that kind of, they need the support, but also you got to let them, their brains, they're developing at that age. Kids, what do they say? There's a study, I read it years ago. Kids under 7 can learn 4 or 5 languages, all at once, because their brains are unpolluted from all the information that gets thrown in there from the minute they start understanding what you're talking about. Kids start understanding the signs, the facial stuff, and the loud voices, the music, all that stuff early. They start understanding the words when they're 3, whatever. But they start understanding the meaning of those words when they're 7, 8, 9, right? And so, and there's some kids that are smarter than others, but I'm just saying their minds are unpolluted at that point. So, so it's just, that's the time to let them discover what it is they love or whatever, if that's possible, right? With support.
And before I ask you the last question, let's build this brick, okay? So now you're saying that, first of all, even take a year off if you want, for you to build yourself, to get to know what you want to do. And then after, start going to do what you wanted to do, okay? So now, do you go and work for somebody to learn more? Or do you just start your own business and hire people?
A great question. And I'm glad you kept it for the last, because I've been saving the best for the last. Okay. Be volunteer. Volunteer. Volunteer leads to everything. You'll do it for the rest of your life, maybe. Maybe you'll volunteer from here or there, whatever. But if you volunteer, you think people around you don't understand that you're volunteering, and they want you. They want people like that. And you don't volunteer in something you don't want to do. You're going to try to. So you're going to, for example, say you were interested in being a contractor someday, and you, in that summer when you were 17, you knew already there was all kinds of people that you could call. And that's a little bit uncomfortable, but you could maybe put together a piece of information of, these are my skills, or this is what I'm prepared to do. And I think that's even better than this is what I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to work really hard, be on time, and be honest. And then people are going to love that. But you're giving it to a guy that builds decks or does landscaping all summer long. And next thing you know, you're working with this guy for free. You're volunteering. You think that guy doesn't want you back and he'll be paying you? Absolutely. So volunteering, it's the backbone of all of it. I'm telling you, it's the answer for anybody that age. So I would say, get the part-time job. Absolutely. Who doesn't need money, right? With an idea what you're going to do, but think about it. And at the same time, volunteer where you can. There's lots of hours in the day. You go volunteer for a couple hours a week or 5 hours a week or something. That's huge, right? Food bank or anywhere, at a lumber yard, anything. People notice that stuff, and then they want you.
because of your hard work. Wow, that's good. So, so then, because I heard this on Instagram as well, on social media. A person was saying, do you want to be rich? Look for somebody who's rich in your neighborhood and go knock on their door. Tell them you want to stay around them. You will cut their grass for free, or you will wash their car for free, and just do it and watch. Apparently, like, that's how you get somebody to get interested into you.
I think that's a pretty extreme example. I think if I was that homeowner, I'd probably say, thanks for coming and close the door. That's not how it's done. Okay. I think there's different ways to be into it, right? Okay. Different ways to show your enthusiasm.
Okay.
You know, it's not knocking on somebody's door and the richest person in the neighborhood or anything like that. That's just bogus. I think these days, there's a huge advantage and a disadvantage. There's a huge advantage for young people today because of the internet. So you can put yourself out there, which I don't recommend at all. I don't recommend putting yourself out there. I think it's there forever, whatever you do. But I also know if you're a young person and you're not connected, if you're not on the internet and you don't have social media and that, you're left behind. You're me, right? I don't know what's going on in the world. I watch the news and stuff, but I have no idea all this social media stuff. Is I don't watch any Facebook or anything. I don't know about this. But I don't know. Again, you know, research. These days, a couple, hits of the keys, and you could get connected somehow. Find out the closest community center, and find out if you can come over there and help some with the 8-year-old kids throwing basketballs or something. Something. Wow. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what? Sorry, just finished. It's kind of ballsy to do that though. So a lot of people just like get up. They don't want to get out of bed. The world is crazy. It's scary. I watched the news last night. It's blah blah blah. All that again. Get the shower, get out of the house, right? But own it. Get out there and take responsibility, and trust me, you'll feel better about yourself. As soon as you feel better about yourself, people see it. People see your confidence. They want you on their team.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm taking this for myself. Trust me. Okay, so we're still building this brick, okay? So you say first you I think it's better actually now hearing what you said. It's better to start volunteering as you're in school for what you want to become. And then later on, maybe you may even get hired where you are after school. You get hired with the people where you volunteered at. And then once you are done, how long do you work for somebody until you actually...
There's no time limit. And back to your original part of the question there, the volunteer, start now. Start when you're 12. Start when you're 15. Start anytime. You don't have to wait until you're 17. It's not like you're waiting for your government benefits, right? So again, get ahead of it a little bit. Don't have huge expectations right away. Nobody gets it all the first time. Sometimes you have to be embarrassed. Sometimes you have to be called out. Sometimes you walk away going, boy, was I ever unprepared. Next time you won't be, trust me. You know what I mean? So you got to put yourself out there by being present. So it's by literally being in front of people, because these days everybody wants to do everything behind that screen, and that's protection, and it's an insecurity. But use the power of the internet. Use it as a confidence thing, not the insecurity that it becomes for a lot of young people, because they're like these days. I'm still blown away by. People holding the phone up, looking at themselves all the time, taking pictures. Are you kidding me? I'm thinking, what the hell is everybody looking at? But they're just taking pictures of themselves all day long. I don't understand, but that's what it's become. And you know what? Who am I to say that's not the way culture works? It's like in my day, it was totally different, right? Yeah. And but something that's common, a common denominator from the day I was born to the day these kids that aren't even born yet is going to be. Nothing is going to come easy unless you're loaded. Your parents are loaded in that. And then as an adult, you're going to have missed the boat on most things. If you've been spoon-fed your whole life, for all those spoon-feeders out there that are listening, you might say, go rub salt in your house. But I'm telling you, like, hard work happens in the trenches, not being spoon-fed. So I love it. I have a lot of friends that are rich or came from rich backgrounds, but they're not afraid to roll up their sleeves. And those are the people that have real substance. And real values, right, and beliefs. So,
that's a good lesson. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Bella.
Yes. So your last words.
Yes.
For us, please.
I thought the last word was about a half an hour ago. I was using up all my last words.
Yeah.
My last word is, I think your listeners know what you're trying to convey to them from me and that. I would say, I love your questions. I would say, I love what you're doing. I would say you keep on doing what you're doing. Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
You too, sir. Keep doing what you guys are doing.
Yes.
Because you're getting the message out there, and that's the idea, right? That's the whole thing about the internet, I guess, that, at the beginning, I didn't want a phone. I didn't want any of that. I hated the internet. I was the last of my friends to go on the internet. I still don't do internet banking. I'm an old school guy. I'd go back to the dial phones if I could, right? But it's not about an insecurity. It's just that people don't really like change. I would say in your life, you're going to see change happen a few times, and you're not going to like it each time, but you're going to get used to it, and you're going to go, why the hell did I have such a hard time with it? So attitude is huge. So my last words would be get out and do all those things I would suggest to all you young people, like the volunteer stuff, and be out there getting your nose dirty. But also have a really good attitude about it. Just be really positive. Positive is good. People love positive. People aren't drawn to people that look miserable or angry or nervous. Well, you know what? You're entitled to be nervous and all that, but you get confident. You get confident when you do things that you're uncomfortable doing. When you put yourself in uncomfortable positions, it gets easier every time.
Wow.
My final words.
That was really good. Wow. It get easier. Wow. You're comfortable. Okay. I really admire you. Like I'm learning
thanks for
a
having me,
lot.
Bella. I'll bloat it up here now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, thank you.
Is it all right if I sing now? Just kidding.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and let's clap hands for Mr. John. Seriously, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate
this
you.
was a lot of wisdom, and I'm excited for our next talk. We never know.
I'd love that. I'd look forward to it.
Yes.
Nice to meet you and talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You too. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful day. Please share and have a good day.